ever get that feeling, that little prickle on the back of your neck, that the tax man is watching? That every single transaction, every little side hustle, every online sale is being, I don't know, logged somewhere? Well, you're not paranoid. You're probably right.
So today, in this discussion arranged by the brilliant folks at Pro Tax Accountant, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the UK's most powerful and kind of secretive government systems. It's called HMRC Connect. And trust me, you're going to want to know about this. Let's dive in. Okay, so to really get why this system even exists, you first need to get your head around one absolutely massive number, £39.8 billion. That's the latest estimate for the UK's tax gap. It's this huge, gaping hole between the tax HMRC should be getting and what they actually get. And that is the problem they are throwing everything at to solve. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dig a little deeper into that nearly £40 billion problem. Then we'll properly introduce HMRC's digital detective, this thing called Connect, and show you how it seems to know, well, everything. After that, we'll talk about what actually happens when Connect comes knocking, how you can stay prepared, and of course, where to get some expert help if you need it.
All right, first up, the £40 billion problem. Look, this isn't just some random statistic. It's the whole reason, the absolute core motivation for HMRC pouring millions into some seriously powerful tech. They're not just being nosy for the sake of it, you know? They're trying to plug a gigantic hole in the UK's finances.
So, where does all that missing money come from? Well, you've got about $12.8 billion lost to just straight-up evasion, another $6.2 billion to, let's call them creative avoidance schemes, and almost $4 billion from just genuine, honest mistakes. But here's the kicker, the really crucial part. Small businesses and self-employed people, they make up a whopping 60% of that entire gap. And that, right there, is why HMRC is looking so closely at them.
So, how on earth does HMRC fight back against a £40 billion problem? Well, they built themselves a digital detective. So let's properly introduce you to Connect. Think of it as HMRC's super smart data crunching weapon, and its one job is to sniff out every single discrepancy.
And listen, this isn't some brand new piece of kit. Connect has been around since 2010, cost 45 million quid to build. By 2017, it was already grabbing data from more than 60 different countries. Then in 2021, it got a massive upgrade. We're talking AI and machine learning. And now, for 2025, it's on track to process over 120 times billion pieces of data. It's gone from being a tool to, well, a data monster. Yeah, just let that sink in for a second. Right now, it's already chewing through over 110 billion data points every single year. We're not just talking about your tax return here. This is a massive, interconnected web of information about your entire financial life. The scale of it is just, it's mind-boggling, really. Which, of course, brings us to the big question. How the heck does it get all this information? Where does it all come from? Well, this next part is all about the different sources that feed this digital beast, creating what is basically an all-seeing eye that misses almost nothing. And you want to stay with me here, because some of this might genuinely surprise you.
Okay, let's start with the obvious stuff, the official sources. Connect taps right into government and financial records. So we're talking, over 22 million UK bank accounts, plus another 8 million offshore ones. It sees your credit and debit card spending. It looks at land registry data when you buy or sell a house, DVLA records for your car, even DWP and council tax data. Basically, if there's an official paper trail or a money trail, Connect is following it. But that's not all, not by a long shot. Here's where things start to get a little bit personal. Connect also scrapes your digital footprint. All those sales you made on eBay or Etsy, yep. That Airbnb you're running, it knows. Property listings on Rightmove and Zoopla, check. And get this, even your social media posts are fair game. It's looking for a mismatch between the lifestyle you post online and the income you declare. And, kinda terrifyingly, thanks to something called the Snoopers Charter, it can even look at web browsing history. Okay, here's a pro tip that brings this all to life. Imagine you're a freelancer in London, right? You declare an income of, say, 25 grand a year. But then you're on Instagram posting pictures from this incredible 5-star holiday in the Maldives. Well, Connect is designed to spot exactly that kind of thing. It flags the difference between your declared income and your apparent lifestyle. And that one holiday photo, it could literally be the thing that triggers an investigation. So,
what actually happens when the system does flag you? When that powerful algorithm spots something that just doesn't add up? Well, this is when Connect comes knocking. And believe me, the process can go from a gentle nudge to an absolute financial nightmare pretty fast. Usually, it all starts with something called a nudge letter. It's a pretty polite note just asking you to double-check your tax affairs. But if you ignore it, well, that's when you get a formal compliance check, where they'll start asking for records. If things still don't look right, it gets ramped up to a full-blown formal investigation. And the final step? Oh yeah, penalties. And they can be really severe. And here's exactly what's at stake. Look, if it was a genuine, honest mistake, you might get away with just paying the tax you owe. Phew! But if HMRC decides you were just careless, that's a penalty of up to 30% of the tax you owe. If they think you did it deliberately, it can rocket up to 70% or even 100%. And if you've been hiding money offshore, we are talking a jaw-dropping 200% penalty that's on top of the tax itself. And don't think this is just theoretical stuff. Take a look at this real case study of a builder from Essex. He was declaring a pretty modest income, but his social media showed him living this really lavish lifestyle. Connect flagged him. The investigation that followed uncovered years and years of underreported cash jobs. The final bill? $90,000 in tax, a £45,000 penalty, and another $12,000 in interest. That is a life-changing amount of money for anyone. Okay, deep breaths. I know, that was the scary part. But the whole point of this discussion isn't to freak you out. It's to get you prepared, to empower you, really. So how do you make sure you stay off Connect's radar completely? Let's go through a simple, what I'd call a Connect-proof checklist. It's actually pretty straightforward. There are 4 key things. Number 1, digitize your records. Get yourself on software like Xero or QuickBooks. It makes life so much easier. 2, declare all your income. And yes, that little side hustle selling things on Etsy, that absolutely counts. 3, justify your expenses. Every single business expense you claim has to be wholly and exclusively for the business. And number 4, and this is a big one, if you get a letter from HMRC, respond. Do not bury your head in the sand. Deal with it straight away. And hey, speaking of side hustles, here's a little something you need to know. Did you know about the trading allowance? This is great. It means you can actually earn up to £1,000 from a side gig or online sales totally tax-free. But, and it's a big but, the second you earn £1 over that 1,000, the whole lot has to be declared on your tax return. So keep a close eye on it. Now, following those steps is going to keep most of you completely out of trouble. But let's be real, tax can get seriously complicated. And for that complete peace of mind, sometimes you just need an expert in your corner. Think of it as your ultimate safety net. I mean, let's be honest, trying to navigate all of HMRC's rules, which seem to change all the time, can feel like walking through a minefield. A good accountant doesn't just tick the boxes to keep you compliant, they actually protect you. They make sure you're claiming every single thing you're entitled to, so you are never, ever paying a penny more in tax than you absolutely have to. So, if anything we've talked about today has made you a bit concerned, or if you just want help getting your accounts in perfect order, the team at ProTax Accountant are the people to talk to. You can get them directly on WhatsApp or by phone. The number is 07985689912, or just drop them an email at info@protaxaccountant.co.uk. Seriously, don't hesitate to get in touch with them. Oh, and one more thing. For more really essential, easy-to-understand updates just like this one, you should definitely subscribe to the ProTax Accountant YouTube channel. It is a fantastic resource for just staying informed and keeping one step ahead of the game. So we'll leave you with this one final thought. HMRC Connect. It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's getting smarter, faster, and more powerful every single year. So the only real question left is, are your tax habits ready for that future? Thanks so much for joining this discussion.